perfectly right above the eyes.
That, and I just think consciously we expect like the angel to be, you know, like happy and loving, and don't expect them
No,
to have angry face.
No,
it's terrified. It is terrified.
they're disappointed in us.
Healing spirit.
I just had to bring this back.
Yikes.
Hashtag poopbutt. I just got my notifications that we're streaming. Hey!
I need more. Okay.
Not enough post. Needs more poop, but
All right. Chris is playing Tig. I always have to look up the spelling. Tig.
It's his name.
it's literally in his name, Ryan.
I need it in
It
my
looks
notes.
like it says Tad.
Irene is playing Kyrene.
As usual.
The Irish are notoriously good spellers.
And Corey is playing. Your character's name is Maximus Hurt.
Yeah, that's the one.
Max Hurt.
I love the name.
Robin's playing Zezia.
Yep, boy. Just a half-naked, half-goat. Well, something like that.
Our queen is playing Izzy. And Eric, would you like to pronounce your character name for me?
We YOLO.
It's actually pronounced Weadit Yo-Yo.
What?
But yes, it's Weed It YOLO.
I hate it.
Oh boy. Let's see. I don't even know what to do this session. Let's okay. So last time we normally
Are
do
we
one.
not introducing the queen? Is she not playing? She's just listening?
I did. I wrote
No,
Izzy.
he introduced me.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I'm just playing Izzy again because he made me a character. It's the only character I have in 5e.
That's fair.
I guess you could bring a Pathfinder character. She'd be OP as fuck, but
Hey, I'm down now. I can bring Shadow up in here anytime.
I'll roll a level 3 Pathfinder character over and still be OP as fuck.
let's see. Normally we do one shots, but last time we did happen to have a continuity thing because we had to end it halfway. So we're going to go. Well, okay. So you guys encountered a mystery where all the food that the farms around Tallwater were producing were hot as fuck. They were spicy. You found out that this lady was sacrificing chili leshies because she thought of them more as vegetables than as people souls. And she was trying to summon the Spectre Librarian from the Library of Souls because they are usually around when there's martyrs or unnecessary innocents murdered or some such thing. So she tried to find the balance of like technically a soul, but still kind of vegetable-ish for her own conscience. Anyway, you guys encountered her in her tent and started talking to her, and lo and behold, a shadowy figure appeared, and it was none other than the Spectre Librarian.
Ooh, spooky.
He said, "Why have I been summoned?" This lady, who is a tiefling, says, I needed to talk to you. I have to learn about my great-grandmother and know if the rumors were true. And he looks around at all of you and he says, What are you all doing here?
I think the food was too fucking hot.
We were just investigating why the veggies were too spicy. That's all we're here for.
I've come for this. What do they call them? I've come for the fucking.
Oh my god.
Brian.
Yeah, I
No,
came
not-
for the fucking 2, man.
No, we're not.
Same though.
No, we're not here to come. We're here to fix the problem with the spicy food.
I've come here for the chili leshies.
Okay, good. You take the chili lessies. Our problem is solved. Bye.
Wait! I need to come with you. What is it your grandmother did? She says, she's rumored that she was a witch. And that she hurt people. And took advantage of them. And, you see him pause and think for a bit, and then you start to see the tent fill up with kind of a fog. What do you guys do?
Start breathing deeply.
Open the tent flap?
Oh, excuse me, I get this way when I eat spicy foods.
Gross, man. Take that outside.
The longer
Step outside.
there's still fog billowing out of this tent and kind of surrounding it within about 10 feet of it. And the longer you stand in it, the more that your world starts to fade around you.
Oh, good.
Ask if
I'll
I
go
can
more than
nearby
10 feet
stream.
away from the tent then.
What'd you say, Maximus?
I imagine I'm just passing by on the street and seeing this fog. I will charge into it blindly.
Okay, perfect.
Hey man, I just gotta warn you, do not go in there.
It's okay. I breathe deeply.
Tig,
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Tig, you start to see people fade from view. They start to go translucent in this fog, and then they start to go transparent in this fog.
Well, fuck. Well, just how spicy were those peppers? I wiped the sweat off of my brow.
You staying out?
Yeah.
Okay. Your party members disappear.
Does the fog start to disappear?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go in the tent after the fog's gone and try to look for them.
Roll an investigation check.
All right. So investigation. Okay, that's +3, so I got a 9.
There's a very strange metallic smell in the air.
Does it seem like it's coming from any particular thing?
It's like it's just emanating inside this tent.
Can you put your hand through where the people were?
Yeah, it seems like they're gone.
So where are we?
All right, you guys should roll perceptions.
Well, okay.
Should probably actually put my thing together.
Where's my dice?
Where? Oh, there's my dice.
Oh shit.
Max gets a 7.
Okay.
Ooh.
What isn't?
Where?
Oh, it's fine.
Oh,
Perception.
Wow, dirty
17.
Ew.
21.
Okay, that's not that bad. 16.
I got a 20.
Nice.
Yay.
Everybody who rolled 15 or higher, well, all of you will notice this much. You guys start to, you everything kind of goes gray, and then when your vision starts to come back into view, you notice that you're in kind of a large, echoey chamber, and the dark, shadowy figure walks out one end of it, and as you follow him, you notice you are in a library. It's a very standard-looking library. Like, it looks like physical books and everything, but it's huge, and there's this massive dome up above your heads, and there's just aisles and aisles and aisles of huge books with ladders that slide across, like the classic Beauty and the Beast thing. And everything is like white marble. And you see other shadowy figures kind of, some of them are kind of walking, some of them are floating, and then on occasion they'll like do this sort of phase teleportation thing where they just kind of disappear in one place and end up in another. And they're all like sorting books, and you know, there's people with pens like writing and doing some sort of drawing or something. And those who rolled 15 or higher notice that Tig is not with you.
Oh no.
This is a good fucking trip, man.
So Max will turn to the nearest person and just go, "Hello. I saw fog. This is a strange experience that I was not expecting."
It's about normal
Where
for
am
the
I?
area.
Oh, I see this kind of stuff all the time.
Oh yeah.
All right, well then I will follow you, and we'll call that good.
Yeah,
Peter rubs his eyes for a second and then leans over to Izzy and goes, "Hey, does Tig look different than he used to?"
Oh my god.
That's not Tig.
He looks around and starts counting the people and goes, "No, I'm pretty certain that's Tig."
No. That is somebody different. Tig's not here.
So what you do see, if we have corporeal form, is a 6'8" half orc weighing about 240 pounds, wearing no armor at all, just kind of chilling. And he will introduce himself. "I am not this individual you speak of. I am Max. Maximus Hurt."
Very nice to meet you.
I think Izzy just wants to start checking out these books. She loves a good book.
Why don't you roll perception? In the meantime,
Sure. Karen's also gonna do that too.
in the meantime, your tour guide, Dark Spectre guy, goes behind a counter, and he opens a huge book. And he looks up at the Tiefling lady, and he says, "What was your grandmother's name?" And she says, Shannara Appleby.
It's like,
Martha. My mom was Martha too.
Why do you know that name?
Yeah.
He starts flipping through the pages. So you got a 10 and a 15.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys start perusing these books, and mostly you find they're almost like biographies. And if you flip through them, you see these beautiful, almost like, some of them are sketches, some of them are like watercolors. There's all sorts of different mediums, but there's these beautiful illustrations. Almost like, you know, each chapter would have one and the chapter title, and it'd be just a scene from the life of the person the biography is about. And it's mostly A lot of them, if you like kind of skim the ends and stuff, you'll notice they're kind of tragic tales.
Are they
Uh-oh.
other people we saw disappearing?
You and your personal party were the only ones you've seen disappear and reappear.
Okay. Sorry, I misheard then.
You wouldn't have. Most likely, you would not know these people.
I cast detect magic.
Okay. I can't remember if that's just something that happens or if there's rolling involved.
No rolling, but I cast it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this entire place lights up with like everything you can possibly think of, and there is a particular amount of necrotic magic.
Oh,
Great. That's not spooky at all.
The Spectre Librarian shakes his head as he's flipping through these pages. I don't see her.
you can just warn me so I can mute.
It's possible that some of the people she was rumored to have victimized have been added to this library. And she pulls out a paper and unfolds it and hands it over to him with just a list of a couple names she's heard, 2 or 3, 4 names she's heard, and he starts looking them up. Tig, what are you doing? I think by now these chilly leshies have started like poking their heads in the tent to see what's going on.
So, what exactly is a chili leshy?
It's basically, well, first of all, it's something that Sean created. It's
I'm not surprised.
It's a little.
Leshies are plant people,
Mhm.
and a chili leshy is made from a chili pepper.
Okay.
So
It's
they
a
were.
giant walking chili pepper.
Yeah.
They're
Would I-
Adorable.
Would I know if they have like any intelligence enough to like carry on a conversation or anything, or are they just like almost like animals?
I can't remember if they talked last session. You'd have to find out.
Okay.
Go back
Well,
and
it's
listen,
you.
Chris. God.
Your friend's job run, jeez.
Do any of you know what happened to my friends?
One of them shakes their head, and they say, "Where did our queen go?"
Hell if I know. Everybody just disappeared in a fog. I thought
You killed her.
people were just. I haven't touched anyone.
He's gonna smell the air, and then he's gonna take a step closer and point his spear at you. You have hidden.
Hey, now let's not do anything we'll regret.
She was going to take us to Library of Souls.
I ain't heard anything about a library, but maybe that's what where everybody else went. Maybe I missed the bus because I thought we were getting gassed.
Now we have no commander.
Well, if you're looking for somebody to do the job, I'd like to offer my services.
Who are you?
It'll cost you a bit of coin, but I'm not that expensive.
Who are you?
My name's Tig.
How much?
Maybe about like 200 gold.
They say, we can offer you carrots and cabbages.
Maybe some leaves.
How many carrots and cabbages are you talking? Like
All
a
of
cart
them.
full?
All of them.
Oh, well. I'm sure I could sell that amount. Yeah, I think we have a deal. I'll be your commander. Right now, I'd say go and get all your cabbages in order, and the carrots, maybe corn if you got any. I'll be in here when you need me.
They immediately close the flap of the tent and disappear.
All right. Now I would like to go through any personal belongings that are in this tent.
There are a couple chests, and then I mean, you've got your standard kind of backpack and bedroll and stuff, but a couple chests are notable. They're about the size of like a small guitar amp.
Okay. Like the one I gave you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll go up to the first one, and I'll do an investigation check to check for traps.
Okay.
Is 21.
Oh yeah, these look pretty standard. You can't find anything about them that might be triggered.
All right, and locked, I'm guessing.
No, actually, they're just latched.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll open it up and see what's in there.
The first one has a lot of personal belongings, like some clothes, and it looks like maybe it's been treated almost like a cedar chest, like there's winter wear and stuff for later seasons. And then the second one has some more personal trinkets and belongings. You find gold. You find. I'll actually specify it here. Why don't you roll a couple D100s?
All right.
Only a couple.
So 11 on the first one,
Fuck.
and
not very
then
good.
94 on the second.
Oh, okay. So you find 105 gold in a pouch, and then you find some personal items like probably a locket of her mother. You'd find some things she's gathered along her journey. I can give you a more specific list later on.
Okay. What's the mother look like? Is she hot?
Kind of. She's almost like an older version of the daughter. Same with the horns and everything. She's very tieflingish.
So I do that like Robert De Niro thing where he kind of like smiles by frowning and then does a nod, and then I put it back, and I'll take like 60 of the gold out, and then I'll grab some like rocks off the ground and put it in there for weight, and then put the remaining gold on top of it, and then close the pouch back up.
Okay.
Put it back in.
All right.
And I'll take one item of clothing out there, something, not too audacious, but something like an accessory kind of thing that would fit me.
She definitely has jewelry if that's what you're into.
Sure.
I don't know what you were referring to.
I thought you said there were some clothes in there and stuff, and
They're her clothes. Like if you want to wear a woman's clothes, that's fine.
I mean, this is, fantasy world and stuff like that. So there's like plenty of clothes that a woman would wear that would look pretty cool on a guy too.
You can find some things that are kind of similar to a pirate's shirt.
So like, is there any sort of like fur shoulder wrap or something like that?
Okay. 3 or 4 is a yes. No, you don't find a shoulder wrap.
Okay. But you said that there's like piratey type shirts in there.
Sure, yeah. Kind of gender neutral piratey shirts.
I'll take one piratey shirt then.
Okay.
And I'll roll up the sleeves a bit so it doesn't look too piratey, and she wouldn't immediately be able to call me out on having her shirt on.
Okay, this Spectre librarian finally he's scrolling through his page, and with his finger, and he stops, and he says,
I don't like the way that sounded.
I don't either.
He must have saw that same picture that I saw.
Oh.
These aisles don't have numbers or letters. They have strange symbols, and he jots one down on a paper and slides it over to the tiefling, and she picks it up, and he says, "The librarian who tended this passed away recently. I cannot tell you what's inside of his biographies, but you can look for yourself. He says, he looks at actually all of you for this, and he says, "What do you know about the Library of Souls?"
Can I do-
Absolutely nothing. I failed my knowledge check last time.
I don't remember. Is it a history check?
I would let you do history or arcana or probably those two.
History or Arcana.
I'm bad. All of the knowledges.
I get +1.
Because Zezzy is just a stupid drug addict.
We did it's a 21.
Religion?
Religion
I
would
got
work.
a 12.
Ooh. 16.
Okay.
Max is just doing push-ups.
Excellent.
And I should mention
I'm gonna
he's,
sit on his back while he does push-ups.
he's only wearing some rather audaciously short shorts. And some
One of the shadowy figures walks by with a stack of books, and he goes, "You work out.
Work out.
You,
Yes.
You should work at the library sometime. These books are heavy."
I deeply contemplate this shadowy figure's words to me and continue doing just my thing. Max doesn't have a whole lot to offer to a library.
He stands there nodding at you approvingly, like, "Damn."
I'm
Did
like sitting on his back, like
Didn't-
letting him lift me up when he does push-ups.
You can.
Do these shorts happen to be jean shorts?
Oh, yeah.
You do clappers.
I would imagine so. I have an image here. I just gotta find it.
Jeez, you had that Jord Authority picture at the ready.
Hell yeah, I did. I always am ready for the Jordan.
That's kind of a thing in this game.
Imagine shirtless half-orc Dwayne The Rock Johnson wearing the sickest pair of Daisy Dukes doing push-ups.
Oh, do I have to imagine that?
You
Yep.
already are. It's there.
That's worse than Eric's nipple.
I love him so much.
Your nipples are worse than mine. Deal with it.
So, he says, the Library of Souls, to experience a person's life, you are transported into their history. You cannot change their outcome, but you can ask questions and interact with them. I should warn you, the only way to leave a history book is to die.
Great.
She says, "Thank you," and starts looking for the symbol on one of the aisles.
Can I get an insight check about that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I don't trust that shit. 12.
Pretty hard to tell. This is just a big shadowy figure. It's not like he has a lot of expression to show or waver in his voice.
Mhm. I don't trust him still.
Do you want to follow her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Kyrie's gonna follow her.
Okay.
Max will crab walk after them. Like, but not a normal
Zezzy's
crab
gonna,
walk.
like,
He's still,
hold
like,
on
he's
to
still,
his
like, plank position.
shoulders.
Okay, so you guys are caravanning over there.
Feeling the burn.
Weedit's gonna transform into a small bird and land on Zeshi's shoulder.
I will pet him.
Tig, the chili leshy pops his head back in the tent, and then he pops in a cabbage and a carrot, and he says, "Do these work for you, master?"
Oh, sure, they're fine. Just put them in a big pile. If you got like a wheelbarrow or like maybe like a cart or something like that, just pile them all in.
Yes, my lord.
And then I walk out there after it and like oversee all this going on.
You also notice that they are gathering up the dead corpses that the party left behind last week.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe not put those in the cart too. Just leave those off to the side. Yeah, I'm fine without those. That would be much more of a liability than an asset.
Yes, lord.
Hey, these don't happen to be the spicy cabbages and carrots, are they?
Oh. I'm sorry. You don't mean to eat these, do you?
Oh, no, I'm not going to eat them. Fuck no, not after the last time. No, if they are spicy, maybe I could charge a little bit of a higher rate for them. Like, call them something snazzy, like, I don't know, like fire in your pajamas kind of spicy cabbage or something.
He bows and says, "As my lord commands." And he starts wheelbarrowing these things.
What do you imply by that? Like, yeah, you seem to think that maybe we shouldn't be eating them. Is there something wrong with them?
He gives you a quizzical look and says, "I suppose you would eat us as well?"
Well, certainly not. I'm your commander. Most commanders don't make a habit of eating their soldiers or crew or servants or whatever you might be.
We are just as much as vegetables as these are.
Well, no, you're something a bit more. I don't see any of those carrots and cabbages walking around and doing stuff for a master. They kind of just lay there until you pick them up.
He looks nervously at his compatriots, then look back at you, and he says, "You can't eat these."
Are you not familiar with the concept of sentience?
Sentience.
That's when things can
That's a form
move of their own
currency.
volition and no, quite different. Oh boy, this is going to take a while, ain't it? You might have to go back to them, and I will spend this time trying my damnedest to explain sentience to these things.
They all gather around in a circle around you.
Good luck.
Well, at least a couple of you keep on loading up the cart.
She finds this book and she opens it up, and she kind of flips through it a little bit, and then it starts to glow, and you kind of see a similar fog gathering around her as you saw before.
Breathing deep.
Unless you guys actively avoid it, I assume you're going in.
Yeah, we're going in.
Okay.
Going
Full
in.
steam ahead.
Everything turns gray just like before, and then you find yourselves here once I upload the picture.
Maybe.
We find ourselves on Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
With your feet on his ear for some reason.
What can I say except
He
you're
looks pretty
welcome?
happy with it.
What the hell? Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. I'm an idiot. I should not have had that whiskey afterwards.
Things that are not news to the rest of us.
There's a hustle and a bustle in this kind of center of town around this clock tower. And you see people setting up a very primitive form of carnival. Everything's very rugged and mechanical and simplified. And and there's a lot of people gathered around this square and just chatting and having drinks, and there's music. And you see, why don't you guys roll perceptions real quick?
5.
8.
That's gonna
I
be a
5.
4. Oh no, a 5. Yep.
Well, I was feeling bad about my perception, but mine's a 14, so.
Hey, I did it just to make you feel better, Eric.
Did anybody get close to 14 besides Eric?
Nope.
Okay. So, you happen to notice one particular gnomish fellow in the crowd who has a sort of an aura about him, almost like when you've had chlorine in your eyes and you get out of the pool and the lights have kind of that haze around them. He's just got this sort of like yeah, it's an aura. Oh, and also Zezia notices it too. We add it.
We at it. Fam.
Like, we added again.
Okay, I got you.
YOLO. I'll fly over to the.
I'm going to continue to pronounce your name wrong, by the way.
What else is new?
He says, he looks at you and says, "Sure am excited for this festival."
I peck at his head a little. Bonk bonk.
What are you? Are you a bird?
Yeah, he transformed into a bird.
I never even asked you your race or class. I just asked for your name.
Well, I'm a dragonborn, but I'm a druid, so I said I transformed into a bird and landed on Sezia's shoulder.
Oh, that's
And I
right.
petted him.
I already forgot about that.
Yeah.
2 seconds
Gosh,
in.
Brian.
Wow, Brian.
Max will stop doing push-ups and just start flexing.
Oh no, are you gonna stand up and make me fall down?
I think some of the...
Ideally, he'll try and keep you like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He'll just hook you on like the crook of his arm. Try and
Beautiful.
hold you
Oh
there.
my god.
Some of the festival attendees assume that you are an attraction and part of the show, and they're like a strong man in a circus or something, and they're going to be gathering around you.
He's into it. To make sure.
One of them approaches you and says, "Oi, mate, where's your tip jar?"
I will admit I did not think of such a thing. Would you? be
Well, where
willing
am I
to-
supposed to put this tip?
I'll just kind of like use my one hand to open up my pocket enough that he can like drop a coin in.
Okay. Yeah, a few people start
Oh,
gathering around and dropping coins in.
that's weird. No context.
As soon as it was like 2 seconds after I said it, I knew I was in trouble. Why don't you roll? Why don't we roll a couple D100s for?
I can do that.
We'll do it for silver.
Cool.
Ah, fuck silver. I hate silver. We'll do it for gold.
Are there
Electrum
any
or
games?
bust.
So that's
Electrum
a
is magnet.
60.
Might as well be gold. We're all filthy rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a 60 and a 69.
Nice,
Yay!
nice, nice.
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 All right. Your performance lands you about 129 gold in total. Why don't and that's just like as a base layer right off the bat, but why don't you roll a performance check?
Yeah, he's getting into it. And that's a 13 flat.
Oh shit. Okay. I'll give you another D100.
That is a 48.
All right, so you make 177 gold off of this flexing performance. What are some of the
Nice.
things? What are some of the things that you do to show off to these people?
So once he starts gathering a crowd, Max isn't used to people coming to him eagerly, being a half orc. So he starts off by just kind of flexing, but eventually he reaches into his shorts, which seem to have unreasonable amount of space in them, and pulls out 4 hand axes, and he'll start juggling those. And if that loses interest, he's just gonna go to like just general strength feats, picking people up, throwing people.
Oh, nice.
He's not worried about it. Yeah. Just general strong people things as far as he knows. He's not the brightest.
Okay.
So if anybody has ideas, he'd probably jump on board for them without even really thinking about it. He's a follower, not a leader.
Do a flip.
He would definitely attempt to do a flip.
Can Karine also attempt to flip?
Sure.
Yeah, I attempted to flip on the D20 here with acrobatics. It was a big old 7.
19.
Okay.
His bulging muscles aren't made for flipping. They're made for
Maximus,
throwing and
Maximus, you do that thing where you just barely land on the toes of your feet and immediately fall forward and have to catch yourself. But Kyrene,
full scorpion.
yours is borderline flawless. And
I imagine I fall off. She's just gonna squeal and like get to her feet.
Kyrene, roll a d20.
Uh-oh. That's I'm gonna hit the keyboard. Okay, 3.
You make 3 gold for your flip.
Hey!
So anyway, the gnome suddenly perks up, Eric, or we at it, and you notice him kind of look over, and you see this old tiefling-looking woman. She's not old, I guess. I shouldn't have said old. She's actually kind of youthful, but you can only assume that it's this lady's great-grandma, because she's literally the only tiefling here. So in your time, she's old, but in here, she looks youthful.
Okay. To roll to see how much weed it's actually going to be able to connect the dots, but I rolled pretty well. So he'll fly over to the rest of them and then shift back into himself and go, "Hey, that lady, she's over there."
You said
Well,
that
her-
to the gnome?
No, I'm saying that to the
Oh,
party.
the party. Okay. As soon as you point her out, the tiefling lady, who I don't think I ever named her. I'm just gonna name her real quick. What should her name be?
Martha.
Applebee's.
Lord.
Martha. Martha Appleby.
It's better
She-
than Ethel.
Oh God.
Her jaw
Methyl.
drops.
Methyl.
Her jaw drops, and she's just kind of dumbfounded. And then she walks over to you. We add it to get kind of a better view through this crowd, and then she says, "I don't know what to say." And
Probably start with like hello and then your name. That's what I say to people. You know, I come up and I say, "Hey, YOLO," you know? That's me. So,
the gnome notices you two looking at her, and he says, "Wait, you know her?"
In a very strange, roundabout manner of speaking, yes.
Oh, she's not very revered in our town, and yet I've been talking to her and visiting her, and she seems fine. She gave me some medicine to help with my illness.
I heard she killed a whole bunch of people and like sacrificed them, but you know how it goes. Sometimes you hear things that are wrong, you know.
I've heard
You
that.
know, rumors.
I've heard that too, but ever since our doctor passed away, she's all we have.
She's probably the first one
You,
that she sacrificed, you know.
you don't believe those rumors, do you?
No.
I reserve judgment until we've talked to the lady.
Okay, so he says, well, I can introduce you.
We
That
would appreciate
go,
it.
You know, a little faster, so let's get to that.
And you guys all notice that he has a bit of an aura about him too. And based on what you saw of the book, you would probably jump to the conclusion that this is the biography guy. This book was written about him, so he's probably gonna die at some point. That's just putting two and two together.
So, if somebody were to actually reveal that fact to Max, he would walk up to this gnome and go, "No, little man, you stay here and enjoy your time. We will introduce ourselves." And then just head over to this lady as if he knows what's going on.
Is your cat at the festival too?
That's Grey Malkin. I'd know that meow anywhere.
Yep. Come on.
If
Yep.
you
Come on, Tavern Kitty.
if you insist. And he stands there and watches you guys. Real quick, Tig, they finished putting the stuff. Oh no, you had them in a circle, and you find yourself in the middle of a debate, and they're all asking deep questions like, "What about dogs? What about birds?"
Well, trying to find his voice again. I got distracted. And so basically, that's what existentialism is. Like, I don't know how I can explain it any clearer. You all have free will, you all have action, but not these things that are just sitting around on the ground. They're no different than a rock.
You're gonna see one of them perk up, and he picks up his spear and he says, "Free will? You mean I could stab you with this spear if I wanted to, without being told it's okay?"
Well, you could, but then you'd face the repercussions of your actions. See, when you have action, you also have reaction and consequences.
He looks around at his mates and he says, "I think we should test this theory." And they all kind of perk up and they're like, yeah. Okay.
Dating, guys.
What did you call it? A hypothesis. What happens if he stab you? What is repercussion?
Well, I don't think you're going to like the repercussion. If you're afraid of, things eaten, just these vegetables that are sitting in the cart over there, like, if you were to stab me or even take a go at me, you'd find yourself a fate a lot worse than eaten.
He turns to the guy with the spear and he says, "Go, stab him. Exercise your free will." And the guy says, "Do I have to?" And he says, "Yes, exercise your free will. I command it."
Well, you see, that's there is not free will. You have the free will to choose whether you're following an order or not. And plus, I thought I was the commander here.
Well, don't you want him to stab you?
No, I don't. If I wanted him to stab me, I would have asked him to stab me now, wouldn't I?
I apologize, my lord.
Is that cart filled up yet?
They get back to work. Okay, you guys approach this lady, and she says, She seems
Hello, ma'am.
surprised, not only surprised that you would approach her and almost a little defensive, but also then she notices the tiefling and she kind of, you notice her lowered her defenses and she looks at her and she says, "Well, I wasn't expecting to see another tiefling here at the festival." And the tiefling, young lady tiefling, seems a little bit speechless at the moment.
Hey, I'm Weed at YOLO. This is the
It's-
party,
It's
and
pronounced
that's your
"we
mom.
at it," Eric.
Yeah, but he doesn't know
Say
that.
your own name.
Get it right.
He doesn't know that. He's been inhaling smoke all day.
She walks up and she says, "And who is this handsome young man?" and starts rubbing Maximus's biceps.
I am Maximus Hurt. I don't know why I am here, but it is nice to meet you. And he'll try and reach out and just like pat her on the head.
If you ever need whey or supplements, you should come by my place sometime.
I prostrate myself to the sun and get all the energy I need that way.
Suit yourself.
I appreciate the offer.
Carrie silent gagging.
The young lady finally finds her words and she says, "We heard that you have some interactions with the villagers here." And she says, "Yes, they come to me in times of need ever since their physician passed away."
So how did he die?
As far as I've heard, it was something he ate.
You didn't give it to him, did you?
Me? No.
Hey, your insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a little better, but not as good. 7.
It's possible that you might detect something if you kind of were more familiar with tiefling body language and stuff, but she seems a little bit mysterious.
Why do I feel like I can't trust you?
Oh, I've heard that before. Tieflings are never trusted. And she shoots a glance over at the young lady, and I should start using Martha. And she says, "I'm sure you understand." And Martha says, "Yes, I understand." "What exactly do you do with these villagers?" And she says, "I provide them remedies in place of the physician until they find a new one."
So you don't want to be the physician.
I don't think they would ever fully trust me. This is simply a time of need. But if any of you have any ailments, I'd be happy to take you back to my hut and show you what I have.
Triggered Chris's PTSD.
But I kind of want to fake an illness to see what she does.
Can if you want.
I will.
Treats like anxiety really well.
I will cut my own hand open,
Jeez!
one of my hand axes, and go, "Martha, I think was your name. I have a injury."
Maximus, you notice that when you cut your hand open, it definitely starts to bleed just like it always would, but it doesn't really hurt. You can feel it, But it's more like somebody just ran something kind of dull across your hand. It doesn't really hurt like you actually struck a nerve or anything.
So
I'm
I
gonna
don't take the
say-
5 points of damage I rolled.
Don't take the 5 points of damage. No.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm gonna do the same with my J-hook.
Actually, you know what? I will let you take the 5 points of damage because you have to die to leave this place. So why don't you go ahead and do that?
Wow.
Should I roll? I'll roll a d4 for my damage.
It's almost like you got a dentist
What?
numbing shot or something.
I got 1 damage.
What did you
Maximus
do?
is into the way that it only
I cut my hand with my J-hook.
She says, "Oh my goodness, that's a lot of hand injuries."
I was
It's a very sharp tool.
Do our characters know we have to die to leave?
Yes, we got told.
Yeah, they told you. She acknowledges Kyrene's hand injury, but she's kind of fawning over Maximus's hand injury, like, "Oh no, you dear, let me take a look at that."
Oh, so creepy! God.
I'm gonna use my prestidigitation to make him like glisten, because I think this is gonna be great.
Oh my god.
I will switch to oh, none of my other languages are very romantic. He doesn't realize that though, and we'll switch to giant. And to your
Oh,
host
yeah, that
must
really
go, my
good.
lady.
Let me roll real quick.
Kyrene knows orc.
19. I think she actually understands giant, and she looks up at you, kind of impressed, and she says, and she actually speaks this in giant. She says, "We need to get this fixed up. Come back to my place."
And I'll just kind of nod and follow her, but as I walk behind her, I'll just turn to the rest of the group and shoot them finger guns. Like I have some idea what's happening.
Go ahead.
Can I sneak behind and follow?
You guys can all follow. She doesn't seem to care.
Zezzy is gonna casually follow and stick a blotter under her eyelid.
Okay.
And
I don't know what that means. Is that a drug thing?
Acid!
Okay.
I'm putting acid in my eyelid.
it's a rough spot to do it, but
Explain all drug terms to me like I'm a
behind it.
5-year-old.
He is homeschooled, remember that.
So, okay, while you guys are traveling to her hut, Tig, the guys have completely loaded up all the vegetables per your request.
All right. Is there? Is it in a cart?
Yep.
All right. Is there like a horse around or anything like that?
Nope.
Oh no.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Do you have any rope or anything like that that you should be able to like maybe tie yourselves together?
The Lord wants rope. The Lord wants rope. They start looking around and gathering what they can, and then they start tying it around each other's waists and shoulders and kind of creating a caravan or a whatever you call it, a carriage.
All right, like yeah, and so yeah, and then I want to yoke them up to the cart. Do you know where the nearest town is?
They nod, and one of them says, "Tall water, tall water."
All right, make way for tall water.
Okay. The carriage. At first, the carriage doesn't even budge, and they strain and they like pull against this, and you see it start to roll a little bit, and then it rocks backwards. It rolls a little bit and rocks backwards, and then finally, once it gets into motion, they start pulling this thing forward.
All right, and I just ride on top of the mound of carrots and cabbage into the sunset.
Okay. Yeah, you guys. So the party gets to her house, and it's just this little cottage in the top left of the map, way outside of town. And
so before we enter into this, Maximus is thinking that this seems a little bit strange, so he's wanting to just roll a check to see if he thinks that we're supposed to be killing this woman. He's not really sure, so I'll just give you a flat check. You tell me what he thinks.
Go for it.
Okay, that's a 19.
The sensation you so there's a few things. You remember while you were doing your push-ups, you overheard the Spectre librarian saying, "You can't change the outcome of what goes on in this story." However, you also remember that, or you also get the impression that this lady, she keeps to herself. She's living outside of this community. Nobody seems to trust her, and like it could be because she's a tiefling, or there could be good reason for it. You know, it's a little bit hard to say on that part, but whether you should kill her or not, I think that you would feel like you need to wait and see what this investigation unveils.
Perfect. Yeah. So he's getting ready to interrogate boldly.
The cottage is
What
very.
does Zezia see?
What did you do? Did you roll or anything, or did you just perception or what?
So I get advantage on con saves against consumables, and I rolled a 1 and a 3.
Does acid make you hallucinate?
Fuck yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Like a lot.
It's good.
Zezia, as you've been traveling, and you remembered, like, you know, you heard him. It's hard to tell. You felt like maybe you heard them speaking giant, but also you look to your left and you just see a row of giants standing alongside the road, and you look up at them, and they're just like 20 feet tall, looking down at you, and they all have massive clubs. It's almost like they're stone statues, but they're actual flesh and blood.
She is 100% going to scream and hide behind Maximus.
And as strong as Maximus is, it seems like he's just an ant compared to these monsters.
It doesn't matter. He's still bigger than her.
He'll turn around, and now he only has one eye for some reason.
Your buddy
Don't-
Maxie is a cyclops
Don't
right
worry, little lady. This will be fine.
now. And when he speaks, his voice is like booming in your head.
then he
She's like
licks his
staring
lips.
wide-eyed like a deer in headlights.
And he will pat her on the head and keep going.
Zezia, are you okay?
She just needs the head box and someone to tell her a story. I have seen this before. Just needs a grounding exercise.
You guys arrive at this shack, and it's a small little building. It's not huge. You'd probably estimate from the outside that there's, I don't know, 3 or 4 rooms inside at max. Max. And she leads you to the door, and it's kind of rickety, and she opens it with a creak, and she beckons you inside. And inside you see just shelves of trinkets and surfaces covered with doodads and knickknacks and bottles and vials. There's just like no surface space in here, and there's almost no wall space. There's stuff dangling all over, and when she closes the door behind you, you hear the rattle of the wood and the trinkets hanging on it.
So
Are we able to enter before she closes the door?
What about before she closes the door?
Are we able to enter before she does?
Yeah, I meant like she closes it behind you, like you guys go inside.
Okay.
so for the first time, Max is gonna break his stoic character, and he actually lights up a little bit because there's a lot of random things in this room, and he's into the idea of pushing shelves over and seeing what sounds come. But he's gonna look back at his companions and just kind of shrug and be like, I have been described as the bull in a china shop before. This may not be the safest environment.
And she doesn't really notice. She's kind of fixated on your muscles and the cut on your hand, and she's still holding your hand. She pulls you forward and she says, "Come along, dear. I've got something for this."
Zezzy is like hugging his other arm and sees like a bullhead now, and she's just like making eep sounds because she doesn't know if she should be afraid of him or the giants more.
Yeah, and
Um,
Zezia, the things that pop out to you are like skulls and animal heads and shrunken heads, and whether that's there or not is a little hard to say, but it feels like they're dangling from the walls staring at you, and there's kind of a hum and a bunch of voices resonating through here.
I'll reach into my jorts of holding and hand her my water skin.
Hold on, I hear
You should drink some of this.
jorts of holding. That's an item from now on.
What is it?
Just water.
Are you sure?
It was when I last checked, but we did
She
go
sniffs
to that
it.
library.
She's gonna sniff
It's
it,
pants water. It's perfectly safe.
and then she's
Totally
gonna stick
fine.
her pinky in the hole and taste it, and then take a drink.
Is it water?
Oh yeah, it's just water.
Tastes like water.
You need to stay properly hydrated to maintain a healthy workout routine. Just remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
As soon as you say forest fires, you feel something sting your hand. And again, it doesn't really hurt, but you do experience the sensation. And you notice that the witch lady or potential witch lady has dropped a droplet of something on your cut. There you go.
What was this?
It
Some sort of urine concoction from the yak?
The details aren't important, dear. It will keep it from hurting. It will keep it from becoming infected, and it will help it heal up all better.
Cool. Thank you. And he'll turn to leave.
No charge on that, dear.
He gives her the finger guns.
I was going to say, gave her the finger.
and then she turns to Kyrene and says, "Come on,
What did I do to you?
let me see your hand."
Give her my hand.
She drops the droplet on your hand as well, and you sense it, but it doesn't super hurt. And then she says, "That will be 300 gold, please."
I'd like to knock over a shelf.
Yes.
Did you hear the price, Irene? Or did I robot? Or are you roboting? Irene?
Probably roboting.
Yeah, she gone.
You lost her.
Well, welcome back.
Irene?
Oh,
Irenius? Alright. An angry poop. So,
When Max said the only you can prevent forest fires, Weeda goes, "Oh, that reminds me of something," and walks out of the little house. Lights up a spliff and then wild shapes into a bear in order to smoke it.
okay. I didn't know that bears did that, but
yeah, their fingers are actually really good for holding things like that.
Zezia is staring intently.
I thought that GIF was going to have Jim Carrey coming out of the back of that thing.
That would have been a good one. Or Tom Green. Are you proud of me now, Dad?
Maximus,
Yeah.
you now she doesn't have any like it's not like she's a shop. She doesn't have any like aisles or anything, but she does have a lot of shelves on the wall. You want it to just hit one of the walls or something?
Yeah, he's gonna act as if he's like tripping over his own feet and kind of sprawl forwards, hand forward, and just like grab a shelf and just rip it off the wall with whatever's on it to try and distract her from the price she's trying to take from his companion because he knows that's a lot.
How tall are you?
He is
Very.
6'8"
Holy shit! Why don't
with
you
240 pounds.
Why don't you do athletics with advantage?
Athletics. So, yeah, that's typical for me. That is a 6. So that is a 12.
Okay, that was with advantage.
Oh yeah, I roll like shit. It's
Okay.
consistent.
I'll say that about half of the wall's contents tumble down because it seems like she's nailed them up there pretty sturdily, but there's a lot that can still come down, and she immediately, and this is like shortly after she asks for the gold, she immediately turns her attention and says, "Oh, good heavens!"
Oh
There.
no.
And
I
you-
had to reboot.
Oh no.
You get the sense that she is a little bit hoarder-ish and that she cares about every single item.
Can you guys hear me?
That's what he was counting on. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyrene, she told you it'd be, what did I say, 300 gold?
300.
Yeah.
300 gold.
Don't do it.
Why do I have to pay and he doesn't?
Well,
Don't worry, I already ripped the shelf down to cover for you.
She would potentially answer that, except that you see her like bending down and like picking up every single trinket one at a time and trying to place them back up on the shelf that he knocked
So,
over.
While she's looking away, I'm gonna turn to Zezia?
Zezia.
Zezia. I was close. And be
Sexy
like,
is fine too.
yeah,
That's totally
Zaxby's.
fine.
I'm just gonna like pantomime to my throat, just be like the finger across the throat and then shrug like, should we kill this woman? Because he doesn't really know what's going on.
If
I'm
you
gonna roll to see if she understands what you're saying.
you guys, so she's gonna start picking up this stuff one by one. You guys should just pop into another room real quick and talk amongst each other because I gotta be right back.
Cool. We will do that.
Gosh, I rolled a nat 22.
Ah,
So you
Rolled a
totally
nat
get that
22?
No,
Nat
nat 20.
22.
In
As
the brief
well.
moment our eyes connect, you get the feeling from Maximus that he is super confused about who all you people are, why he is here, and as far as he knows, he might be supposed to kill this woman, and he's just looking for confirmation before he starts swinging.
I couldn't roll a nat 22.
Guys, I rolled that 30.
So let's see.
For what it's worth, Weeded is now stoking a small fire outside of the outside of the cabin or whatever, and is throwing more and more weed on it, still as a bear.
When Brian
yeah.
comes back, I'm gonna tell him I'm readying an action to entangle.
Cool. So we're dealing with this woman, right?
It's not going to change the story, but
Max doesn't know how to read.
I mean, it's not going to do anything to change what's already happened.
Not for that guy, but it might change it for this woman.
I don't know.
Won't she keep doing this if we don't?
Do you think we could just walk out? Is there
Yeah,
actual
probably.
information we need from this woman? Is the
No.
real question.
I don't think there was.
We
We're
don't
just
actually know
here
that she did anything
because-
wrong either.
Yeah, we're just here because Martha wanted to talk to her.
Oh,
Yeah, we did not get to be with her.
Max definitely misinterpreted that. And by Max, I mean I did.
I mean, to be fair, almost every time we play, we start the game and Eric tries to kill an NPC. And
Yeah.
it's usually the NPC that's supposed to take us on our quest.
Yeah, usually it is.
Name 8 times that's happened.
2 times ago it was Sean.
Yeah, exactly. I just kidnapped the person. It was fine.
Tig, you are rolling into tall water.
All right.
The town is not very active or bustling simply because all the restaurants and everything have been closed due to the spicy food.
All right. Fuck. I forgot that this was the town that got into all that stuff. We'll have to go to the next one down.
Okay, let me check my map.
Throw some vegetables in the pool.
It's Tallwater's sister city, Bongwater.
Ew.
All right, you can choose between Salt Ridge, Simpleton, or Elderberry. Or if you want to go to a bigger city, it'd be Bird's Feather.
Well, I think you gotta go Simpleton, don't you?
Okay.
Birds feather fly together.
Those fuckers will buy anything.
I don't know. I don't have a map for Simpleton. Nobody's ever gone there yet, but it's kind of northeast of Tallwater, so you're gonna be. But you have a main road this time instead of traveling through the wilderness, so you'll get there in pretty good
Alright.
time.
Yeah, I just like kind of hold the reins up a little bit and then snap them, and then yeah.
Hi ho, to Simpleton we go. All right, what are you guys doing? She has finally put the last trinket back up on the shelf.
We just leave, I guess.
You're just walking out.
I'm not gonna pay that price. Fuck that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll wait for everybody else to leave and then I will follow out after. Just in case she tries to stop us.
Just a moment, dear. You haven't paid me for the medicine.
Fireball! Just kidding.
I'm not gonna pay you.
That wasn't part of the deal, madam.
It would be.
What are you gonna do? Kill me?
It would be better if you paid me.
Or
Yeah.
what?
Is there a vase or something nearby that I can grab?
There's like anything you can grab, whatever you want, my man. This
Yeah,
house
so
is full of shit.
I'm just gonna
Throw
reach out and
trinkets at
grab
her
a
chest,
vase.
pick them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a vase and just try and just spike it on her head and knock her out.
Ooh!
Oh my god.
Do
Good night.
trying to remember what we do for makeshift weapons.
It's an angry goodnight.
What do you call a makeshift weapon in D&D?
Do you want to
Improvised weapon.
Improvised.
Right.
Gosh, Brian, all you do is improv. How do you not know?
You know that I'm bad at improv.
Come on, DM.
I call him a cab and tell him to get the hell out of here and let me know when a real weapon comes around.
I could just roll an unarmed strike.
So it's gonna be if you throw a melee weapon, it doesn't. Okay, so do a dexterity plus proficiency plus your roll.
Proficiency. +3 plus dex plus roll. Yeah. Oh, that's a natural 1.
Okay.
See, what you got there is a bad case of dick shards. Real unfortunate.
You throw this vase at this. Excuse me. You throw this vase at her, and it's strange. It's almost like she shadow dodges. Like there's like a Morpheus level of like shadows behind her as she moves, and the vase crashes against the far wall. And you guys suddenly start to see her eyes grow dark, and she says, I liked you. It's a shame it had to come to this.
So I never liked you, so it's fine.
I, upon seeing this, will full retreat from the building.
Are you guys all gonna flee?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to entangle her and then flee.
I'm gonna
Okay.
attempt to bar the door and then convince the weed-smoking bear to light the house on fire.
She doesn't seem in a
Oh,
terrible rush, so if you guys want to take your actions, you can.
Well, immediately outside of the house is a black bear next to a small campfire that is primarily Kush.
So she must succeed a strength save or be restrained by plants.
Ooh. Strength is not going to be her strong suit.
Strength is her only strong suit.
She rolled a 6.
Fail. She is restrained by plants.
Okay.
What kind of plants are these?
They're weed plants.
Perfect. Is there a Yeah, there are windows on this. You said it was like a cabin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm gonna revert from bear form and smash one of the windows and cast Speak with Plants.
Okay.
I love you.
And I'm just gonna be like, hey man, if you could just like keep her here, that'd be super great. And also, I'm just gonna collect some of this, and I'm gonna like grab a few handfuls of it, and then I'm gonna like try and like scoop up the campfire I had made and just throw it into the cabin.
Okay.
They're just
Be like, okay, that
"Yeah,
should cover
man."
your costs. Thanks.
They're like, yeah, man, I got you. And they just kind of like wrap around her ankles and arms.
Is there anything you want to do, Izzy? You've been pretty quiet.
I think Izzy is spending an awful lot of this time shaking her head and face palming. But, she is
Don't
more
judge
or
me,
less.
Tracy.
She is more or less jotting down notes in a journal. This is more of a opportunity for her to experience something different, learn something new. She's trying not to interfere with what's going on.
Okay. Why don't you, in particular, add a point to your religion?
And okay,
For
that's on
studying.
here somewhere.
For being such an astute student. All right. Did you say you set her house on fire, Eric?
I mean, kind of. Yeah, I'm scooping up as much of the flaming plants I can grab without burning myself and just kind of tossing it onto the freshly grown plants that are in her house.
Okay.
Also, even if she becomes uninsnared by them, it will still be difficult terrain because they are now sentient.
Gotcha. All right, real quick. Tig, you are rolling into Simpleton. This place is like this is like a small town in Canada.
Okay.
You making a stab?
We'll see if I make a stab. You just wait for my accents. Oh, hey there.
Oh, Canada.
That'll be enough, little veggie people. You can go back home now, and I untie them and let them walk off.
They're all shivering and holding their arms close to their chest as they walk away.
Okay.
You
And
can tell they're
and
you can tell they're used to hot, spicy climates.
Oh, okay. Oh, and once you get back, that one is your new commander.
Do you point
And I
to
just
them?
point to one of them randomly.
He says, "Oi, thank you, mate."
And then as soon as they're like, gone out of earshot, come on, come on. I have some great veggies from a special variety.
They're gonna start gathering around and say, "Oh, what you got there? Oh, yeah, we don't get to grow these much up in these northern parts." Simpleton.
Well, these are very special veggies. They're like got a spicy taste to them. It only takes a little bit to really kick up a meal.
That's a classic Eric map. Okay. Hey, we appreciate that there. How much you selling them for?
Well, because they're so rare, they're going to be a little bit more than the regular vegetables, but not too much more. It's going to be. Well, how much did you pay for a carrot before I got here?
Carrots are pretty rare. We like to spend about 20 gold apiece.
Oh, well, these are only going to be. They'll only set you back about 21 gold. So it's only a 1%, and that's not even right. He just says it. It's only a 1% race.
What was the total price you cut?
21 gold per carrot instead of 20.
Why don't you? Okay. Why don't you roll a persuasion first of all?
All right. That's a natural 20.
Oh my god.
And then why don't you roll a couple D100s above 200?
Here, I'll just do that in the chat. Exclamation point R. 2 D100s.
Mm-hmm. $26. That was awful, by
Wow.
the way.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 on a D100.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you made. They're gonna buy your cart. So you make
Okay.
about, because you got a D20 on that good persuasion roll. You make 4,746 gold.
Jesus Christ.
So I got 60 gold earlier, and then 4,726
Yeah, remind me, where did you get 60 gold? Oh, from the
from
chest.
stealing from that pouch earlier.
Yeah. I forgot to write that down. I'm glad you reminded me.
All right, and I said, thank you very much. You've been very lovely people, and I must go to my home now. And when I find some new great produce, I'll make sure to bring it around and share in the exquisite finds that I happen to come across on the road.
Yeah, we appreciate that there. Let me just take a bite of this here. As you're rolling away, you see the guy just light on fire. His mouth is so hot and his face turns beet red and his eyes start watering.
Remember, a little bit goes a long way.
Okay. All right. Let me see what happens with this flame. Actually, Eric, why don't you roll call high or low and then roll a D100. Actually, yeah, do it in that order.
Call high or low and roll a D100.
Correct.
Okay. High.
Cutthroat
22.
Yikes. Despite your efforts, you can't manage to set the cabin on fire. She does know that there's a few trinkets trinkets nearby that go on flames, but they just kind of die out.
I cast fireball.
Okay, that works.
I'm
That'll
just
do it.
gonna shoot him a wink and cast fireball.
do you roll for that, or?
I rolled damage.
Reflex save for half, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
What kind of, I don't know, reflex save is in?
Dex save in
Dex save.
5e.
Yeah, not a reflex save. I play so many TTRPGs though that I was right about to go along with it, because reflex save is a 3.5 thing.
Yeah, I'm a Pathfinder guy. My apologies.
It's the same thing as 3.5, but on
Yep.
track.
She rolled a
Yep.
2.
Oh, good. That doesn't beat my spell save DC. Guess she's gonna take all these damages.
Oh no.
Let me see. I gotta dig the rest of my dice.
Wow, I feel really bad about making all of those plants sentient now.
Now you just hear them screaming.
The chili leshies would have a thing or two to tell you about that. They'd be
Yeah, I don't care
mortified.
about them.
I don't have enough d6s, so I'm gonna have to reroll some.
Oh my god.
15. $22 damage
Holy shit. Okay.
to whatever is in the fireball range.
Why don't you guys all roll perceptions real quick?
Okay.
That will be a 9 for Max.
I think I have a +2, which would put me at 14.
21.
Oh, nice.
Yes, 14.
It's plus
I rolled that one, but I got to re-roll it and I got 19.
21.
Okay. Those of you who rolled a 15 or higher noticed that, well, everybody notices that this whole entire house starts to go up in flames. And those of you who had rolled a 15 or higher noticed that Martha is just staring, kind of looking a little bit dead inside.
Max will charge in the door with his heavy maul drawn. Or sorry, it's just a regular maul. And he's going to try and go straight past her towards the cash register, I'm presuming, in there, in an attempt to rob her on the way out.
Okay. So everybody is standing outside of this cabin, and you dash inside, and you already knew where the cash register was. I don't think with your strength you would have any trouble smashing it open. Why don't you roll just a straight... Actually,
We will also run in there, not aiming for the cash register, but looking to scoop up as many of these sentient weed plants as we can that aren't already on fire.
Maximus, roll a
Oh.
d4 real quick.
D4? Okay. That would be a 3.
Okay, now roll 3 d100s.
Ultimate chat, is that easier?
Yep. There's the syntax for that.
Oh.
No, Eric. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's 115.
All right, yeah, she's got 115 gold in this cash register that you pull out.
Cool, I dump it all into my jorts of holding.
Fine, Eric. You know what? Roll your damn D1, 1d4. As if you don't have enough stuff already in your inventory.
You hear like the silent screams of burning plants.
Oh, it's not silent because I can speak with them, but I rolled a 3 as well.
You saved 3 plants.
Yay!
So Brian said roll 3D 100, and for whatever reason, I decided to Google 3D 100, and in the ejaculation room, I'm going to put what came up first.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it's in the ejaculation room and I'm scared.
Waterproof extreme sheets. Oh man, and a topless geisha statue.
Those waterproof extreme sheets for those massive squirters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dear God.
But then under that, completely reasonable finds of like 3D images of 100.
I'm gonna do this now and see what I get.
Okay, now. What did you roll, Eric?
I rolled 3 on my D4.
Okay, roll 3 D100s.
I'm on it.
3D4.
Wow.
That's nice.
70, 77, 37, and 2. So
116.
116? Yeah.
All right, you get
I beat
116.
115.
You get 116 marijuanas.
116 pots. Perfect.
Plants or grams?
We don't ask questions.
Pots.
Wow.
All right, here's the thing. So
Weeds.
I just start splintering off into 116 different weedits.
as you guys exit this cabin, probably at a fast pace, you get out just in time before the entire roof collapses in on this lady, and the Martha's standing aghast, and she says, "I guess it's true. I guess she really was a witch." She's a-
I think he killed the doctor.
But the thing is, it's before we close off this session, I need to know. He said the way that you get out of this story is to die. What do you guys do?
Maximus would like to rage. With that, he will also do a reckless attack, and savage attacker, and frenzy, and
Jeez.
just unleash on everybody.
Excellent. Kyrie takes it.
He's just gonna overdose.
I do 2d6 plus 3 damage without critting, and if I crit, I do all sorts of crazy things. So I'm sure I could whittle the party down quick enough.
Okay.
Weed It is going to find the closest small area and burn all 116 weeds and die due to smoke inhalation.
Oh, I can lightning bolt us.
Ooh. That's a quick way to go.
All right.
So do we just gather together and have a really weird suicide party? Is that what I'm doing?
I guess so.
Yeah, if you're attacking us, I'll fire bolt in a way that I hit the party and you.
Maximus, why don't you roll a d6 real quick?
That would be a 6.
Oh shit. Okay. Including Martha, you are able to bludgeon everybody just before this lightning bolt strikes. And
It's probably good because I was gonna deal 28 damage.
Maximus
And then I'll have to
TPKs
stand
the
there
party.
finishing myself off because even with 26 points of damage, I still have 32 left.
Definitely.
Be sure to look Brian in the eye when you finish. He likes that.
Definitely
Yeah.
putting that in the
He
place.
really
of
does.
And I'll put the half of my what do I have here? A mace? Is that what it is? Maul into my jorts and just no hands make it smash into my own face until I'm dead. Maximus knows how to party.
That's the first time being in a TPK.
Yes.
sort of a TPK. Tyga's just fine.
Yeah.
It was more of a like cultish suicide.
Yeah.
You guys
We
wake up.
just brutally kill ourselves.
Everything goes not black, it goes gray, and you guys wake up in the Library of Souls, just standing where you were before, gathered around this book. And then, if you were to inquire of the library, the Spectre librarians, the one says, "If you value your time here, for those valiant enough, we accept that you may donate your time, either time or a commission, or not commission. What do you call it when it's like a? What would you call like a number of books, a number of lives?
A plethora.
Donation?
A plethora.
Library?
A quota. I was trying to think of a quota.
Would you say this is a plethora?
You could donate a quota of your time and then pass on to the afterlife once you've fulfilled it.
Max will just hand him 15 gold and just nod like he understands what's happening.
It's kind of like a organ donor, basically. Before you go on to the afterlife, you agree to work at this place and log people's biographies. But
Max would like to rage and kill himself again so he doesn't have to work in this library.
you wake up in the tent, back in the chilly Leshy camp.
He's
I don't know what
Tom's
road you were journeying on before you joined this party, but you're welcome to keep on your journey.
he's just gonna lay in the tent until something happens. Maybe he'll put himself as the new ruler of these spicy leshies.
I like that. Okay. Maximus becomes the new ruler. Tig becomes rich beyond his wildest dreams, and the rest of you eventually can go back to Taltwater from whence you came. And I think that will,
Hooray!
unless any of you have something particular you want to mention.
Nope.
16 weeds. I'm
Not
pretty
really.
happy.
Says he was probably drunk.
Then
I think
that-
Izzy will definitely sign up to work at the library for a while when she's dead.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm gonna put that in your inventory or your character notes.
I should not
In your inventory.
It's going to be a lot of books to carry around.
You've received one library.
If everybody returns to the tent eventually, I don't know how long it'll take them, but ideally Max will have whipped these spicy leshies into a real servant based system where he sits alone in power, probably on a throne made out of bones.
Jeez.
Made out of the disobedient leshies.
Oh my god.
just rotting produce.
Fucking hell. All right, and that will
Ready
close
to
off.
receive his friends.
All right, and that will close off our session. Thanks for playing, everybody.
Thanks for gaming, Brian.
Whenever Weedick gets back, he sees Max and just goes, "Whoa, Ty, you've got yourself a real little empire here."
Sure.